All right. Ready to get started? We'll call to order the meeting of the Haverford Township Zoning Hearing Board of Thursday, February 19th, 2026. Present at the front table to my far left, Ed McGargy, a voting member.
Hello.
My immediate left, Ernie Angelos, our solicitor.
Good evening.
Will Rhodes, voting member.
Good evening.
Jesse Poyton, a voting member.
Good evening.
Jonathan Mount, Haverford Township Zoning Officer.
Good evening.
We have, before we do that, Billy will lead us in pledge.
Please rise if you can, repeat after me. I pledge allegiance
To the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
All right. We have one continued case which has been withdrawn. Do I need to read the description for that, Ernie?
I'll just identify what it is.
All right. It is case Z25-46, Spotless Car Wash, owners of 510 Westchester Pike, Havertown, PA, DC parcel number 2209-0268802, who seek to demolish the existing car repair facility. And there's no need to read the rest of that description into the record because the case has been withdrawn by the applicants.
That's correct. We received a letter that was sent to the zoning officer formally withdrawing that application and indicating that the hearing this evening is not needed.
Okay. So then there were fewer. So our first case this evening that we actually hear then will be Z25-42, Brandywine Senior Care of Haverford, LLC, owners of 731 Old Buck Lane, Bryn Mawr, PA, DC parcel number 2205-0058600 and 2205-0068300, who seek to reface and alter the existing monument sign of 15.16 square feet each, as permitted by Z2207, permitting the additional sign size over the permitted 15 square feet each, and to permit the removal of the prior monument sign approved under Z2207 for a new non-illuminated directional sign at a 10 square feet with an overall height of a single pillar 8-inch by 22-inch in violation of the conditions of Z2207. Property zone R1A and located in the 5th Ward. Hey, Len.
Hello, Mr. Chairman. How are you this evening?
All right, how are you?
Well, thank you. I'm good to proceed.
We're good.
So for the record, my name is Leonard Altieri. I'm an associate at the law firm of Claire Harrison Harvey Brandsburg, representing the applicant this evening, which is Brandywine Senior Care of Haverford, LLC, for the subject property located at 731 Old Buck Lane. I do have with me, who will be the only and primary witness, Mr. Barry Jacobson with Foreman Signs, who's our sign vendor. While the chairman was going over the legal notice, I did hand up to the board an exhibit packet tabbed A1 through A10. For the record purposes, I'll just state that A1 is an aerial of the property, A2 are site photographs, A3 is a site plan, A4 is the permit denial dated August 18th, 2025, A5 is the permit denial dated 9/25, A6 is a signage plan originally revised October 14th, 2025, A7 is a signage plan revised January 14, 2026. A8 is the June 22nd, 2022 zoning hearing board transcript of the Township of Haverford, where they rendered the decision that was referenced by the chairman. And then for standing purposes, A9 is our deed and A10 is the property owner authorization. I think in terms of context, it's extremely important to kind of frame this. This is a very simple signage case that we're talking about this evening. And I think it's so simple that we've just made it more complicated than it needed to be. So to just kind of go through this exhibit packet, and everything is a little bit combined here. So again, to orient the board, what we're talking about, we represent Brandywine Senior Living, which is the property located in the back here. We share an access drive with the Mainline Arts Center along Old Buck Lane. You can better see this, well, before I get into that, this is the entrance from Lancaster Avenue. And here is the entrance. This is the best one I could get, showing the subject sign, which is located right here. There's another sign right here, which I think we're going to have a conversation about, but for purposes of tonight, the application that we're talking about is just the resurfacing or the refacing of this existing sign right here. And then you can kind of see in the back where my cursor is as well, the directional sign, which is internal to the parking lot. Again, just to orient the board a little bit closer, just so it's easier for everybody to understand, we do share an access driveway with the Mainline Art Center, which is located essentially right here. We have the driveway that comes in, you access both of these locations. The current monument sign or freestanding sign is located roughly where my cursor is right now. And the directional sign, which is currently existing, is also where my cursor is located right here.
Before you go, Mr. Altieri,
Sure.
just one quick question. Are you going to have your witness go through these exhibits as well? Because you're,
I'm going to have him testify to the actual sign. I just think it's important, Mr. Angelos, to really frame this, because what we're doing is, really looking for only 0.1 square foot of relief from the original order that was rendered in 2022.
the basis for the question was that you were identifying and pointing to a couple locations on pictures, but didn't necessarily identify the
Yeah, that's a
exhibits
good
for
point.
which you were marking.
Yeah, and the downside of having everything kind of combined in here. So just to rip through that real quick, that's a good point for record purposes, Mr. Angelos. So A1 is the aerial where I was explaining to the board essentially the site layout. That is also encompassing A2, which is showing you street view of the subject property from Lancaster Ave and then also from Old Buck Lane. Turning to tab A3, it's the site plan where I identified where the approximate locations are of both the monument sign as well as the directional sign, which is part of the application this evening. Staying on tab A3 and looking at the site plan is where I referenced the fact that we have a shared driveway with the Mainline Art Center. The Mainline Art Center is located kind of planned south. Our property is located to the rear of the property. Turning to tab A6, this was the original application that we submitted to the board. And again, what we are looking to do was originally refacing the sign. We were going to remove the decorative banner that was atop the art center, which you can see more in the existing features. And then there was also a proposal to have a 1.77 roughly square foot sign that said a Monarch community at the bottom of the Brandywine Senior Living. So again, keeping on A6, refacing, all we were doing was going to reface the Brandywine Senior Living. We were going to add a Monarch sign, Monarch community. We were going to replace the decorative or remove the decorative B that was on top of it. And then for the existing directional sign, which is still staying on tab A6, we were going to take the directional sign that's already located and we were going to put a stone pillar to match the monument sign out front. When we submitted those applications, or prior to my involvement, my client submitted the application. They received, before they went to the zoning hearing board, the 2 denial letters that are referenced in the tabs A4 and A5. We revised the plans. So the plans that we're discussing tonight are what's contained in tab A7. All right? So we're only talking about the tabs, the plan that is in tab A7. Again, what we're planning to do here and what we're really just simply doing is we're resurfacing or refacing the existing Brandywine Living sign. We have removed the 1.77 square foot A Monarch community and incorporated into the actual cabinet. So again, we're not expanding what was granted to us under the 2022 order by the zoning board. We're just resurfacing that existing sign and taking off the top of the B that is currently decorative there. And here's just a more zoomed in version of that again, which I'm going to have my sign vendor testify to in greater detail on. And then with regards to the directional sign, again, the reason why we need the directional sign is the same reason why we needed it in 2022. Despite the fact that that's in there, we're still having deliveries going to the wrong location. It's to orient individuals that are coming in there, whether it's, believe it or not, Uber Eats for our employees. We're getting some meals from the Mainline Art Center. The Mainline Art Center is getting some of ours. So what we wanted to do was, instead of just replacing it with a directional sign that's currently on the ground, which is a 48 by 30, a 48 by 30 directional sign, we wanted to match the monument sign that's out front. So we did a stone pillar. We raised it to be zoning compliant. So we're 4 feet from the base, which is compliant to the zoning code. And the pole itself is below the 16 feet, which also is compliant to the zoning code. This is where really the only thing that we're seeking relief for tonight. This sign is proposed at 38 by 38. The other one, the existing one, is 48 by 30. So we're looking for, it comes out square footage wise, 10.02 square feet. And we were only authorized under the 2022 decision for 10 square feet. So that is what we're here for tonight. It's a very simple sign case. And then just for record purposes, A8 is the decision from 2022 of the zoning hearing board where they granted us the relief. Now, I know that there was conversations about existing signage that needed to come down. The order states very clearly under the conditions that the sign pillars were to be stone instead of brick, which was on the original application, and all of Mainline Arts Center signs on the Buck Lane property and Lancaster Ave will be removed. Those signs have been removed. Now, there was conversation, this hearing took place over 3 days. It took 3 different hearings. April 21st, 2022, May 19th, 2022, and finally a decision was rendered on June 2nd of 2022. What I think occurred is that there was discussions related to other signs, and those signs were not part of the order. And what I think the board was referencing from my conversations with Mr. Mount is if you go back to tab A2, when you get a street view of the entryway, the board had discussion about this existing monument sign right here when they were getting approval for this monument sign right here. If this is the sign that the board wants removed, as you know, we have no problem, as a condition of our approval of removing this sign, as long as we get the approval, as a condition of what we're seeking this evening.
Wait, can I, you're saying that unless we give you an approval, you're not going to comply with the existing conditions?
The existing condition doesn't state anything for
Yeah,
that sign.
the existing condition specifically was talking about that sign and the small sign on Lancaster Avenue that was attached to the telephone pole that didn't need to be there.
And those signs, my understanding, sir,
We
have
were
been
talking
removed.
about both of those signs.
And the signs on Lancaster Avenue have been removed, is that correct?
I believe so, but what I'm wondering about is why is this monument sign even still there? You've built the one you got relief for,
Yep.
and you didn't comply with it. And now you're telling us you're not going to comply with it unless you get new approval?
Well, what I'm saying there, sir, and if it came off that way, is that I understand what I think and I wasn't part of the original application.
doesn't matter.
Well, I'm just telling you with regards to the reading of the transcript, there were conversations about different signage. The order doesn't state clearly which sign came down. I can't explain why the signage didn't come down. What I'm saying is we will, if the board wants that sign removed, if that's what the true intent was, which isn't captured in this transcript, then we will comply with that. I'm not saying that we're only going to do it if we get the approval. Obviously, it would be great as a condition of approval or as we get the approval to take this down. I mean, we have no problem doing that. But in the conversations that I had with Mr. Mount, I know that was one of the other reasons why it was holding us up to come before the zoning hearing board as opposed to it being an administrative permit being issued.
So if you, and by the way, the condition number 2 is all existing signs on Buck Lane property and Lancaster Avenue will be removed. So if you had any question about that, it was plural and it was all.
But it says for Mainline Arts Center
Okay.
signs.
Right.
That's not a
You have
Mainline Arts
shared-
Center sign.
That's a shared sign, isn't it?
No, the sign that the original approval for in 2022 is a shared sign, and that's the sign we're talking about this
Okay.
evening, which you can see right
I
here.
understand your point.
This-
So what I'm suggesting is now that you know we wanted that out and it's been clarified for you by Mr. Mount, why is it still there?
But we wanted to proceed through the zoning hearing board proceeding. We knew that we were coming here for the other additional relief or the 0.1 square foot that we are seeking this evening. And so again, if we get the, if that's, I hear what you're saying, and I'm not trying to be argumentative, but I don't know, based off of the order, what legal right we would have, or not legal right, how else that would come down.
I'm sorry?
You're asking for that sign to come down.
Yeah, that was
Correct.
one of the conditions.
And I respectfully disagree with the condition
Okay,
of
but
that.
once you understood that the township's view was that it was one of the conditions, and it seems very superfluous. In fact, one of the arguments that you guys came in 2022 was that sign's hard to read from the vehicles that pass on the street. And so why do you have it up there?
That's a question, again, my client is willing to take it down. Again, I respectfully disagree that it was a condition of what the original order was in 2022, but we have no problem proceeding with taking it down. Obviously we would love to tie that to an approval, but we have no objection to taking it down. So that's the summary of the application, and what I'll do is I'll just have Mr. Jacobson come in and just kind of talk a little bit in greater detail to the actual sign itself. Again, what we're seeking, again, just to reorient the conversation, is just 0.2 square foot of approval for that directional sign, which is internal, to match the existing sign outside. So Barry, if you want to get sworn in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? And your full name and the capacity in which you appear?
I'm sorry,
Your full name?
Barry Jacobson, Foreman Sign Company,
And Barry, what's your association with the signs this evening?
Vice President.
All right, and so you have familiarity with these plans?
Yes,
And you're the one who put them together
yes,
and submitted them as well, or your office submitted them?
yes.
Can you just, I know I did a high-level overview of what we're seeking tonight with regard to the refacing of the monument sign and then also the directional sign. Well, let's just take them one by one, just so the record is clear. So turning to tab A7, which is the application that we're speaking about, can you just kind of talk to the board about the refacing of that sign that we have on the screen right now?
Both existing Art Center and Brandywine are illuminated sign cabinets. And all we're gonna do is reface the Brandywine Living with a new face, acrylic, vinyl, similar to what's there now, just different look of their logo. No square, no size difference, same exact sign.
And you're identifying Exhibit A7?
A7.
Thank you.
Yep. And A7 is the plan that we're gonna, again, A6 was what was originally submitted as part of the zoning application. A7 are the revisions that we made. Because there was a pending application, we weren't able to, well, we had a conversation, and again, the 0.02 square foot with regards to the sign face with the directionals is why we're in here. So again, and here's the directional one, if you want to just talk, it's pretty simple, but talk about this.
The existing sign was just a basic ground-mounted monument sign with vinyl graphics on it, directional. They want to upgrade the look of their sign to match the pylons out front. So we basically have a stone pillar, just like the stone pillars out front, with a non-illuminated metal sign fabricated with a raised letter copy on the sign. Directional. At it's actually 10.02 square feet.
Those are all the questions that I have for Mr. Jacobson.
Okay. Questions? Billy?
Would you be willing to take down the existing sign that we just talked about prior to any decision by this board?
Prior to any decision? I don't,
Yeah, yes, I think they would take it down.
No other questions?
Jesse?
The simplest question is, why not just make the sign 37 inches by 37 inches and not have any increase? But, I mean, that's a minor point. I'm just wondering why it's so important to even need any
Well, it could be
increase.
30.
So, let me answer that. The reason why we could have made it 37 by 37 to get the 0.2 square foot, the issue isn't the 0.2 square foot. The issue was that there were the other existing contentions with the 2022 decision. And so we had to come in here and explain our position on what the order said versus what we might think it is saying. So since we were already coming into the zoning hearing board, we just kept it in there since we were already coming in for potential relief or expansion of that order.
And the application is not what triggered the conversation. It was already on the radar of the township, the fact that that sign didn't come down. So, Ed, questions?
No, I'm looking at the exhibit. I'm trying to figure out what number it is. So the one with the existing sign, this new directional sign. Where is that exactly? How far back from Martin Avenue is that?
So if you turn to, just for record purposes, again, tab A3, we're going to put that up on the screen. And I'm going to zoom in for you, sir, so you can see. So here's Buck Lane. Old Buck Lane is on the right-hand side right here. The directional sign is right where my cursor is, if you can see it on the screen. It's about, how many feet in would you say?
Or can't see it from Buck Lane.
You can throw it out, number.
200, maybe 100 yards.
So roughly 100 yards from Old Buck Lane. And it's where the existing directional sign is located.
Oh, Old Buck, not Martin. Okay. That's all the questions I have.
So you're done, Ed?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry. So, next hearing is March 5th. Is there anything else you want to add, Len?
The only thing I'd like to add, Mr. Chairman, is that the exhibits tabbed A1 through A10 be admitted into the record.
Okay, without objection, they're admitted. No other questions? With that, I'll ask if there's anyone present that received certified mail that wishes to testify. Anyone present that received regular mail? Any other residents of Haverford Township? Nope. I need to swear you, you know. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and address for the record?
Lynn Elliott, 704 Polo Road, Bryn Mawr. And I don't think I actually need to submit them, but because I made them, I'm going to bring them anyway. So this is
Can I just ask for the name again? I'm sorry, ma'am.
Lynn Elliott, 704 Polo Road. I was involved in the 2022 case. That's your copy, and then this is the copy for the board.
Okay,
You want to label it, or?
yep. So,
So
We're gonna-
it actually is
wait.
redundant. You guys have already seen the.
one second, Lynn.
Oh.
We're gonna, we'll mark this P1. And it is a photograph
Just so-
labeled front driveway of 731 Old Buck Lane, photo taken 1/13/26, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And I really appreciate Mr. Rhodes' recollection of this case. Obviously, I recall very clearly the executive director of Brandywine who
You have to
testified.
address the board, Lynn.
Oh, sorry, who testified multiple times in that case that he pledged that that sign would be removed if he got the variances to put in the new sign. And even if it wasn't in whatever the order was that was shown, I'm pretty sure the end line of every decision the board ever does is that it will be consistent with the notes of testimony, something like that. And he testified multiple times that he would have that sign removed if he would get the variances granted for the new sign. And I really think it's important that they be required to remove that as part of the 2022 variance they were granted, and not just say, okay, they're going to get the new variances, now they're going to take the sign down. I think they should take it down before they get their new variances. Thank you. That's it.
Thanks. No, any questions for Lynn? Len, any questions for Lynn?
I'm done. No.
Okay. Anyone else that received certified mail? Any other residents? Regular mail? Going once, going twice? With that, we'll close the record on this case, and a decision will be rendered at our next regularly scheduled meeting on March 5th.
Mr. Chairman, can I just ask respectfully that that decision be pushed to whatever your meeting is after the 5th? I'm traveling. I'll be out of the country.
Well, you don't have to be here for the decision, Len. I mean, if you'd rather be here, I'll wait till the following meeting.
Yeah, I would prefer that I'm here, just in case
Okay.
there's any further discussion. Or I guess the record's closed, but yeah, so I guess you're fine, actually. Let's just close the
Your
record.
call, I'll
No, you
delay
closed
it
the
for-
record, so you're fine for the 5th. That's fine.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Want this? I don't want it. All right, our next case is Z26-02. Daniel Schwartzman, owner of 2429 Winfield Drive, Havertown, PA, DC parcel number 2203-02360000, who requests relief from section 182-604F1A A and B, to allow the improvement to an enlargement and alteration of an existing structure in the floodplain. Property is zoned R6 and located in the 6th Ward. Daniel, I presume?
Yes,
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes, I swear.
And your full name and address for the record, please?
Daniel Schwartzman, 2429 Winfield Drive, Havertown, PA, 19083.
Okay. So Daniel, you heard Mr. Altieri present his case in the prior case. Do you have any exhibits that you want the board to look at or consider?
I would refer to my representative.
Okay. I'll swear you as well, because I know you're going to make statements on the record. So please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So help me God.
And your full name and the capacity in which you appear?
Todd Demansky. I am a project manager at Better Living. We are the company that has been contracted to do this project.
Okay. And Todd, you heard Mr. Altieri mark and identify exhibits for the record. Do you have exhibits that you want the board to consider?
I guess, yes, I guess I could show this. Now, is this something I'm turning in and you guys are keeping it, or?
Yes.
Okay. So I think I will then.
We're okay with standing right here.
So I guess we'll call this Exhibit A.
Okay.
So all we're trying to do is that we are not.
Wait, hold on one second, Todd. So what you just handed me is a site plan. You ask that it be marked A1, right? A is applicant, so A1, your first exhibit. And it's a site plan. Is there a date on here
I don't believe.
or some other identifier? It's got the parcel. It's okay. So this site plan will be A1. Is that the only exhibit?
I guess I might as well submit a set of engineering drawings for
Okay.
the room as well. Just for clarity's sake, what I will do is just turn in the one, actually these 2 pages. Because this shows the dimensions of the room. And what we will be doing to the existing deck that's already there.
So high level, these are engineer drawings, 2 pages. Collectively, are you going to refer to these individually or are you going to refer to them collectively?
I would say collectively.
Okay, so collectively, these 2 pages will be identified as Exhibit A2. All right.
And these appear to be ones that we have in our packet, I believe.
Yeah, but they're not part of the record, as you know, just.
Right. So, but we might have copies of these already, I think.
Yeah, I believe you guys do, but I figured.
It doesn't matter. When you submit attachments with your application, they're not part of the record unless you identify them and have them marked and moved into the record.
Understood.
So, no more exhibits for now. I mean, you can always add to it, Todd. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you'd like to do here and
Okay,
why?
so as you see on the site plan and the engineering drawings, is that site plan matches the dimensions of the drawings call for. There's an existing deck there. We're looking to reinforce the deck so we can support an aluminum sunroom on top. We are not changing the footprint of the room, or of the property. And furthermore, in terms of impervious coverage, there's actually a driveway already beneath the deck. So nothing's really changing. We're just putting a room on top of it. Simple as that.
Okay. Questions? Ed?
The first question that comes up is the idea of you have an existing deck, so this new addition wouldn't have any addition, wouldn't be larger.
Yes, sir.
Be the same dimensions as the existing deck.
Yes, sir.
Next thing is the issue of the reinforcement of the deck. We have a garage and a driveway. Then I also saw in the drawing, without showing the garage, whether you were parking of a vehicle in that area would be impacted by the changes.
It will not. Actually, if you look at the drawings, the deck drawings specifically, you'll see that the supporting posts, the columns, you'll see how they're spaced. And there's actually, that was taken into account. The homeowner actually specifically asked that we leave space for the driveway for him to be able to traverse into his garage.
Okay, and the posts themselves, when you say reinforced, are they going to be any larger than the existing post?
I believe they're going to be the same size. If not, if they are larger, they'll go from 4x4s to 6x6s. Nothing larger than that.
So you're not the engineer that did this, but the difference between a 4x4 post and a 6x6 post will have any impact on the floodplain?
Again, not to my knowledge.
The issue of the enclosure, you're gonna have a wooden floor on the deck, so
Yes, sir.
I'm confused about, is there gonna be any utilities in the,
The only thing we will be doing is, I believe we are adding, we're going to be putting electric in the room, which we submitted permits for that, but let me double check on that. Yes, that's about the only thing we're doing is adding electric to the room.
is it gonna be heated?
No, sir.
No heat,
No, sir.
okay, and the electric, there should have been probably approval for electric anyhow, but for a light or something. And no water, right?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
No water lines or anything like that.
What do you mean by that? I'm sorry.
You're not gonna put in a bathroom out there or anything.
Oh, no, no, no.
So it's
This
not
is
gonna be
a
a-
three-season sunroom, glass and aluminum.
And what is your typical use of the addition here?
Well, something like this, I mean, I know that Mr. Schwartzman has 2 teenage sons, and it's just a matter of having some more space, being able to, for the family to spread out and just enjoy, again, where they live at this point.
Would you consider this a four-season?
No, sir. 4-season would have to be, this room is technically 4-season because it's insulated and it's heated. But this would not be insulated nor heated, so it's not a full-on addition. That's why it's considered a 3-season sunroom.
I have no other question.
But you're here tonight because the structure, the porch structure, is within a floodplain,
Yes, sir.
and you're not further encroaching unless you need to increase the size of the.
No, no, I measured it myself. We've had the engineering drawings for a little bit now, and so, no, we're not increasing the size.
And that's why you're here, because the structure is presently located within a floodplain.
Precisely, yes.
Billy?
So just want to understand, does the applicant regularly park their car underneath this? No. There's a driveway that goes underneath it. And there's no expectation that the area below the deck would be enclosed in any way, even with ventilated walls or
Not with us, sir.
not with you? And you're not aware of the applicant having any perceived need for any enclosed or parking of any type underneath?
Would you like to answer that?
Do you feel that you need or have any need for the ability to park your car underneath this?
Rarely do I park the car there, and it parks fine. But we're not going to enclose that space underneath the deck.
You don't see any need to enclose that space?
No.
Okay. So back to the engineering. Can you describe, what we do know will be in the floodplain is new 6x6 posts, right? Can you explain what you're going to install on the ground to anchor those posts?
So again, this is per the engineering drawings, which is everything is done to code. So actually, I don't have the first page here. Well, again, I have a list here on my first page, which is going to dictate per the coding of where we're at, how big the footers need to be, and we're going to abide by that.
You want to just walk me through that?
Okay. So let's see. So 36, we have to go down at least 36 inches to get to the below the frost depth, and pour the concrete in. We have a J-bolt in it, and then the 6x6 attached to the J-bolt, and there's your column.
So you just excavate a hole, pour it with concrete, set the anchor for the 6x6 and mount it.
In so many words, yes.
I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Jesse?
All my questions have already been asked. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I believe that's it.
Okay. Daniel? All right, with that, I'll ask if there's anyone present that received certified mail that wishes to testify, anyone present that received regular mail, any other residents of Haverford Township? Please come forward. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and address, please?
My full name is James Maloney, and I live at 723 Preston Avenue.
What would you like to tell us, James?
I have a number of things I'd like to share.
I think he's here to testify for our case and not the case.
Oh.
Because we're Preston Avenue.
All right.
Is this it?
It's just the wrong.
It's not the case that we're
Oh. James, we'll
He's
do a
correct.
retake. No worries.
I have to say, you guys had us panicking because we were like, driveway? What? That doesn't exist.
Yeah, but
no one lives there. I'm sorry.
No worries, no worries. But I will have to swear you in again on the next case. All right. Any other residents of Haverford Township? And Daniel's sitting here going, who the heck is this guy? That's cool. With that, we'll close the record on this case, and the decision will either be rendered this evening. If we're unable to render a decision this evening, then one will be rendered at our next regularly scheduled meeting on March 5th. You're done. You're welcome. And now, without further ado, our next case, Z26, or two cases actually, Z2603 and Z2604, Blackbird Investment LLC, owners of 725 and 727 Preston Avenue, Bryn Mawr, PA, DC parcels numbered 220500861000 and 220500862000, who seek variance from section 182208C2F1 to permit a 7-foot wide side yard setback for a portion of a rear addition on each side where 12 feet is required. As a result of the voluntary removal of existing portions of the building where foundations were found to be insufficient for structural load, property is zoned R6 and located in the 5th Ward. How are you doing, Jen?
Wonderful. All right. Do I need to be sworn in or anything? Okay. So,
Unless you're going to testify.
well, I'm going to present some
Are you going to have
testimony,
someone
and I'm
affirm
also
your
correct.
Okay,
Yes.
then
All
we'll
right.
do that.
Wonderful. Then I just want to make sure we're all procedurally correct here.
You're very difficult, Jen. Very difficult.
All right. So, and I believe I gave you my card, so you have the spelling of my name. Great. We know it's a difficult one. So my clients are Blackbird Investment LLC, and they purchased these two properties in July of 2025 with the intent to rehab these properties. They needed some attention. Actually, let me go through the exhibits. I'm so sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. I submitted an exhibit packet marked A1 through A8, and these exhibits are our zoning board application. Photos of the two properties, a Google Maps satellite image of the entire block.
That's A3.
That's
So you
A3.
went A1 is a zoning board application. A2 are photos of both properties. A3 is the Google Maps satellite image of 700 block of Preston. So go ahead, Jen.
Okay,
A4.
A4 is the most recent multiple listing service listings for these properties, for the sale of these properties. And then A5 is, there is a slight revision to the second page of the plans I submitted, and it really is just the zoning analysis because it had still said that there was a 12-foot setback. And as we'll go into now, there's a portion that's considered a new 7-foot setback. So that's just the correction in there. It's both in the packet, and then that's the larger plan I handed you as well. But that is the only change on that plan. And then just some additional information that comes from our building plans that aren't part of the zoning set. A6 is the original floor plans of the structures that were there. A7 is the proposed floor plan, so you can see what's going into the space we're going to be talking about. And A8 is the proposed elevations, just to give some context to what we're going to talk about. And I guess I'll move them into the record at the end. Okay, sounds good. Like I said, my clients purchased these properties in July 2025 with the intention to rehab the existing structures, as well as add an addition and a garage in the back. This was going to be a by right project that we would not have to come forward before this board for. Their building permits were filed and granted. And in the process of doing the work, it was discovered basically that a portion of the rear of this property had no foundation, and so could not support the renovations that were planned, and so were brought down. That structure probably had been there for a significant amount of time. Just looking at the structure, I can't exactly date it. But since we now have the building, that portion of the building down, it's about a 10-foot by 15-foot section on each building. Let me actually get to the site plan so you can probably see exactly what we're talking about. So it's this section in the light gray right here. This is all we're talking about right here. And that's on both properties. There is a section of light gray. Let me get to the other property. You can see, again, this lighter gray is what we're talking about. It's about 10 foot deep and then the 15 feet wide. Because there was no foundation, it is now technically considered a new structure when we go to build in that same exact footprint, but put the proper foundation underneath it.
And is that what they intend to do, Jen?
That is exactly what they intend to do.
Same footprint?
Same footprint.
No larger?
Restoring the previous condition of
And
the.
there was a structure there.
There was a structure there,
It just
yeah.
didn't have a footing.
But it just didn't have a footing. And so if you look in the packet, it exhibits, and that's actually why I put the multiple listing service on A4. You can see the rear of the property and the side of the property as they were when they purchased it. And then in the photos, you can see what happened afterwards, and you can see the lack of foundation. And so the only thing we're here before you for is to rebuild that section exactly as it was, with the proper foundation so that the building's structurally sound. I'll just add to that, like, it's a 7-foot setback. If it was a single family, if it was detached, that's a 7-foot setback requirement. And there's lots of other, you can see photos in here of lots of other structures in the neighborhood that have a 7-foot setback or smaller as well. So it's not out of character. It's complying with the spirit of the code. And it is the least variance we can ask for because, one, we're asking for just exactly what was there before. And two, with a 12-foot setback, we would only have a 12-foot wide building because the lot is pre-existing and smaller than the zoning code would normally have, which is 38 feet. We have 24 feet. And at 12 feet wide, you really can't put a hallway or any sort of walking path. And this is the section where we have bathrooms and kitchen. And they're already pretty modestly sized. It would be really difficult to actually reconstruct that kitchen and bathroom area in 12 feet of space.
Okay. You want to bring your client up to
Sure.
adopt everything you said as his own testimony?
If you could just put your
Hello?
name.
I'm going to swear. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and the capacity that you appear?
Okay, Ahmed Özkan.
You're going to have to help me spell that one.
AHMET.
AHMET, okay?
My surname is OZCAN. Özkan. OZCAN.
All right, Ahmet. And your address?
My address
Yep.
is 4161 Bassam Avenue. 4161 Bassam Avenue. Apartment B, Garfield, New Jersey. 07026.
Okay.
Did you hear my testimony here today? And do you believe it to be accurate what I told the board?
Yes.
And would you adopt that as your own if I sat and asked you all the questions to get that information from
Yes.
Okay. And do you have any other direct for Ahmet?
No, I think that's basically.
It's
I mean,
immense.
I'll just have you confirm specifically. The intention is to rebuild in the exact footprint.
Correct.
That was previously there. The existing condition,
Yeah,
just
before.
put the building back up.
Correct. It's
Okay.
almost approved before.
Questions? Jesse?
And Jen, we've had a lot of projects on Preston, so just for the record, you submitted this by right? You've not been before this board for this project?
No.
Okay, because I was confused,
No,
thinking
this-
that we had seen this project before.
This was a by right project until this.
I see. Okay.
condition got
Yeah, there's
discovered.
been a lot of development on Preston, is
Correct.
that correct? Okay, so I was
Yes.
confusing this with
was-
another
When I
project.
was on Preston, I looked up, like, there has been a lot of development on
yeah,
Preston. But this is not something that has been before you
Okay,
before.
I was looking at this thinking, oh, we just heard this case, but that was a different
It was actually
case.
specifically designed to be by right and follow
I-
the zoning code, and
okay.
then we just had this,
I understand
you
that.
don't know sometimes until you know.
Okay.
So,
All right, then I am very clear on what you're asking for, and I have no other questions.
Bill?
So Jen, the reason you need relief is because of an abandonment concept? Is that?
because when you take the building down, you
Yep.
took the structure down, and there is no foundation to rebuild on, it is technically not a building anymore. So while it was a pre-existing condition, the technicality of there not being if I'm understanding this right, Jonathan, the technicality that there was no foundation that we could then build back up on creates a new structure when we go to put the foundation in.
I just want to make sure we get it clear for the record.
And no foundation is a problem, right?
It's a big problem. You can't, that's a big problem.
So, on that, do you think that there was no foundation originally because that part of the house was an addition after the house was originally
Correct.
constructed?
Correct.
And no one bothered to put a footer in to support the addition?
It's very clear when you look at like kind of the understructure and also what it looked like when you took it down, that it was an addition. Like, and when you look at the other properties on this block too, they started off as very small twins. And then most of them have that little extra addition in the back. And now in kind of this generation of development, they're putting a little bit more addition on the back. But that's that addition that I think a lot of these houses have that probably is older than anyone in this room, did not have proper footing underneath it.
Well, Ernie's 92.
All right, I have no other questions, thank you.
Ed?
Now, I think as long as you can support what I'm going to say here. So this building, same number of floors, same floor plans that were pre-existing?
It's following the same building plan of the permits that were already approved. It's just that because that section had no foundation, it creates this new condition, but it's the same it's the same structure that was already approved.
And there's not going to be an additional kitchen or anything like that?
No, it's there's single family homes.
With those conditions, if everything is exactly the same as it was approved by the building, no other questions.
Okay. I have no questions. Anything else you'd like to add, Jen?
Not at this time, no.
All right, Ahmet, thank you.
Oh, I guess if we're done, then I would just like to move my exhibits into the record.
Without objection, they're admitted. All right. With that, James, you're on, brother.
Let's try take two for this.
All right. Now I'll sit up straight. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And once again, your full name and address for the record.
James Maloney, 723 Preston Avenue.
Okay. Then what would you like to tell us, James?
Yeah, well, first I would like to say that I'm very happy to see this house being renovated. It is a very old structure. It has been a bit of a blight on the neighborhood. I'm happy about that. I've learned some new information as we've been here. I don't really know how these hearings work, so I'm not sure if I can ask questions or anything of that. But a few things that I do, the main reason that I'm here tonight is that the construction site as it exists today has been extremely poorly maintained. And these folks here are here today to share that they would like the community to grant them a variance, and I would ask that they take care of their construction site. A few things have taken place. First of all, and I have photos to this, I do not have them printed out. I have digital versions of this. But the first thing to know is that there has been heavy lumber and masonry skewed across the property, including within walkways and within the street. I'm not here to come and tell on someone. I have called the contractor on the phone number on the sign out front and said, can you please move this out of the street? This is our only parking. We do not have a driveway, so we rely on that street parking. They've continued to place materials there, including lumber, masonry, a tall stack of masonry just sitting
in the street?
Yes.
Overnight?
Overnight, multiple days. I have photos that I can share with you. I also have called code enforcement on this. I don't know, this hearing seems to have come about because of this, but the two coincided, which was very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, our purview is sort of restricted to considering the facts and circumstances surrounding the variance request.
Understood.
But we're interested to hear what you're saying because you have their attention, right?
Yes.
So, and you have Jonathan's attention.
Yes. And what my request here today is I'm not here to block progress in helping our neighborhood to improve, but what I would request is that there are conditions placed on granting of this variance, that they continue to maintain the construction site within the rules and codes that are required, that this variance not be granted until they have come in compliance with that, and that stop work orders would come into place if they were to fall outside of compliance with it. Transparently for this group as well, we have tried to be good neighbors to these folks building this property. One evening, they needed to work until about 9:30 one night, and that was because snow was impending. We talked to them about that, and they said, this is gonna be a one-time thing, and we said, that's fine, we understand that, you guys have if this is outside of the normal hours, I'm not gonna call the police or anything on you, but we're not seeing the same respect from these builders, and that's really what I'm here to ask. I do have a number of photos with date stamps on them. I only have them digitally, so I don't know how I can produce those for you. I can send them
There's
to
really no way because it's a public hearing. Right?
Yes, I
So
understand.
in an ideal world, you would have had them printed or on a USB, and we could put them up on the screen so everyone could see them, and their attorney has an opportunity to validate the authenticity of them and ask you if you took them and all the normal process.
Sure.
In any sort of quasi-formal proceeding.
I have one partial printed photo.
Okay. Does it show what you wanted to show?
It shows part of what I would like to show.
Okay. Yeah, but then Jen won't have a chance to cross-examine them. We're closing the record on it.
This was done in a rush prior to this hearing.
Mind if I just
he didn't
look at it?
You can absolutely look
Okay,
at this.
cool, that's.
Yes.
All right.
So this is in front of the property, the snow, masonry.
They're not contesting it.
Oh,
Just to
totally.
be clear.
Understand.
Okay.
Understand.
They should.
Understand. Not sure what to do
So
with this.
bring it up to me.
So this, I don't know if I describe it to you or what the
Okay.
plan is here.
So James,
Yeah.
for identification and reference purposes, we're going to mark this as P1.
Okay.
Right? And it's a photograph that you took,
I took that photo.
and this is on Preston,
This is on Preston.
and it's in front of the subject property, their
It is in
property,
front of, 725 and 727.
and it shows stacks of lumber
Yes,
in the street.
in the street.
And I'd like to ask you, how long has the lumber been?
The lumber.
When you took this picture, how long had this lumber been in the street? Was it delivered 10 minutes prior, or
No,
had it been there for days?
No, it
Weeks?
had
I mean,
been
give me
there
some-
for well over a week at the very least. And I have other photos that attest that it's not one time that this has happened, it has been multiple times.
Okay.
And the one time that I called the builders, it was the night before the really big snowstorm. And to their credit, there was stuff in the street. They moved it out of the street. The next day, a couple days later, it was back into the street.
Jen, you've seen this picture?
I have, once we're ready, I just have some follow-up after talking.
Okay. And so what are your other concerns, James?
My other, generally as well, it has not been, the site just has not been maintained. There's often nails, screws on the sidewalk right out in front, trash strewn across the property. And also out following the snowstorm, as you can see there, I know that this is not a zoning matter, but not shoveling the sidewalk, it was covered in ice for a while there, generally not being good neighbors to the community. And so I'm here today to request that the zoning board take those items into account and make sure that, like I said, as I'm excited for this project to proceed, but it needs to be done in a cleanly fashion that is respectful of its neighbors.
So James, would you come here for one
Yeah.
second? So I see on P1, behind an SUV, a blue SUV, in the foreground, a stack of lumber.
Yes.
What is this?
That is a stack of masonry. You can see the other stacks over here. So it's
So when you
it's
say
like
over here,
blocks.
the other stacks are to the right
To the
of the
right.
stacks of lumber.
Yeah.
There's masonry in the street as well, just beyond the stack of lumber, right?
Yes.
And I need to describe it that way, not because I'm an
Understood.
idiot, because the record
Yeah.
that they type out has to reflect it clearly.
Yeah.
So these are also building materials.
That is also building materials.
Okay.
Yes.
How many spots would you say these materials take up on the street?
It's depended between 2 and 3 spots.
And is that your driveway adjacent to the property?
No, we don't have a driveway.
And do these building supplies impede access? It looks like there's a driveway adjacent to the property.
To my knowledge, the driveway has never been blocked.
Okay. And Jen, you've seen this, right?
I have.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add, James?
No. I appreciate the
Now Jen
council's-
has an opportunity to ask you questions.
Okay, cool.
And the board as well.
I don't actually have questions for him. I just want
Okay.
to follow
Okay.
up with a conversation because my client has recently taken steps to address some of this. We're not contesting that this happened. So
Can I say something? Nothing has taken place, just to be clear. So I don't.
So if we drove by there tonight, there would be stacks
I
of
took a
lumber in the
photo
street?
before we left this evening.
Okay, let me ask the board if they have.
Excuse me, to be clear, no lumber, there is masonry still in the street.
Okay. Questions, Jesse?
No, James, just, I think everything you've said is very reasonable. I think you took all the steps that you could have taken, and I think it was brave of you to come tonight, and I thank you for coming out and sharing this with the board. Thank you.
Bill?
No questions, thank you.
Ed?
No question.
Okay, on take two.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome. I'm gonna, before we do that, I'm gonna ask if there's anyone else present that received certified? Anyone that received regular mail? Any other residents of Haverford Township? Do you want to testify?
okay.
No? Okay,
Supporting one of the photos that our printer couldn't print, but
okay. Now, Jen.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, can I go off
Yes.
the record? Can we go off the record for just one moment, please?
Sure. Chris, could we go off the record? Action. All right, Jen.
All right.
So you heard
I heard
James's
everything.
concerns.
I did hear the concerns. I got to briefly speak with my client. He's going to come back up. He's not contesting that happened. It did happen. I believe that.
He doesn't need to come back up.
Okay.
He needs to clean his site up.
There's been a project manager that's been hired. He's not local, so we're going to have another person who is local now being able to supervise that construction on a day-to-day basis to make sure that doesn't happen, both for the neighbors, but also for the township in general, and for my client to not have violations against them and be able to continue the project. It's a mutually benefit situation to not have problems like that. So
And it's a huge issue for us. I mean, you've been here many times.
I understand, and like I said, I live in this
I know you
township,
do.
and I do not. I wouldn't want that next to my house either. So understood. My client has heard everything. He is not contesting that it happened, and he's trying to take steps so that it doesn't happen in the future. And if it does, we understand that the township will be on top of them about it. So just want to let you know that we are aware now. So.
Okay. Thank you, Jen.
And
Okay.
I will also give you my card too. I am local. You can give me a call as well. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Very good.
That's it.
I'm glad you came out.
Thank you.
It's important. All right. Any other questions before we close the record on this thing? We already went through the public input. Ed?
No question.
Billy? No questions. Jess? No other questions. Okay. Jen, you have anything else you'd like to add? Okay. With that, we'll close the record on this case, and a decision will be rendered either this evening. If we're unable to do one this evening, a decision will be rendered at our next regularly scheduled hearing on March 5th. And now, Chris, we're going to go off the record again. Sorry. Haverford Township Zoning Hearing Board of Thursday, February 19th, 2026. With regard to case Z2602, Daniel Schwartzman, owner of 2429 Winfield Drive. I won't read the rest of the description into the record unless somebody specifically requests that I do so. Ed, are you prepared to vote?
Yes.
Bill, are you prepared?
I am.
Jess?
I am.
And so am I. Ed, would you please take that decision?
Yes, I vote to approve the requested variance with the following conditions. No enclosure below the deck. 2, the improvements to the deck will not increase the number of support posts and will not interfere with the ability of parking a vehicle in the driveway. 3, the new structure will not be heated and the only utility will be electric. 4, the addition will be completed within 1 year of zoning approval. And 5, the addition will be completed in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Okay. Bill?
I agree.
Jesse?
Agree.
And so do I. That application is approved 4-0 with those conditions. With respect to case Z2603 and Z2604, Blackburn Investment LLC, and I won't read the rest of the description into the record unless somebody specifically requests that I do so. Ed, are you prepared to vote?
Yes, I am.
Bill, are you prepared?
I am.
Jesse, are you
Yes,
prepared?
I am.
And so am I. Billy, would you please take that decision?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, with respect to cases Z2603 and Z2604, I would vote to approve the requested relief, subject to the following conditions. First, the applicant shall properly maintain the construction area and not store any materials or debris in any right-of-way or sidewalk, and will proceed with construction in accordance with all township ordinances and rules. And the failure to comply with these terms of this variance will render the variance null and void. So, condition 2, the project will be completed so as to not adversely affect neighboring properties from water runoff. And third, that the project will be completed within 6 months in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Ed?
I concur.
Jesse?
Agree.
And so do I. That application is approved with those conditions, 4-0. Any other administrative matters or any other matters? Jess? Bill? Ed?
None.
Okay, then we are adjourned.
I didn't have my.
Thank you, Chris.